I forgot how this video started, y'all. I am the worst when it comes to focusing. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl B, and I'm back with another video. So this is going to be another video in my installment of, my mind, body, and spirit healing journey. And we're still focusing on the spirit portion of this series. So yeah, let's jump right into it. Well, actually, before we jump right into it, I want to say if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back and thank you for joining me. And if you're new here, I want to say welcome and go ahead and hit that subscribe button because you will love it here. And I mean all the content. You're gonna see everything from fashion, travel, working out, diet, and it's spiritual journey of being a believer of God and Jesus Christ. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're interested. And also I do content on my micro locks, which look so good. Like if you're watching this, I'm at about 3.5 weeks. I'll be hitting 4 weeks soon, and I am loving it. Yeah, today's video is going to be about noticing the signs. So first thing I want to say is recognize signs, recognize God's blessing, recognize God's work, recognize all of that, because a lot of the times we get so in tune with what we want that we don't realize what is going on around us, what is taking place around us, what it is that we should be focusing on. And a lot of the times God will show us exactly what we need to see, and because it's not what we want to be aligned with, we kind of avoid it. And I mean, what we want is not what we are meant to be aligned with. And I think the number one way to combat that, to not end up in a situation that you're not supposed to be in, or wait, let me not say like that because that sounds horrible. Life happens. But to minimize the chance of you being in a situation that will make you unhappy, I think it's very important that you talk to God, that you have regular conversations with God. And I think one of the things people struggle with, that I struggle with, is, well, how am I supposed to talk to him? Is it supposed to be in prayer form? Am I supposed to be praying? But am I praying? I don't want to seem like I'm asking for things, because I feel like sometimes praying is just meant to be that, praying and saying thank you, God, for blessing me. But at the same time, I do have worry. So when is it appropriate for me to, share that with God? So I feel like if you're like me, that is something that will really bother you, because it's like I don't want to ask for anything, or I don't want to only come to God to ask for him to do things for me. Like, yes, while I do want certain things to happen, I don't want to treat you like a genie. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to treat God like my personal genie, because that is not the role. Like, I am actually meant to serve you. But in serving you, I should be asking you to guide me, to bless me in certain journeys of my life. So when it comes to things like that, I think it's very important that you have conversations with God regularly. So whether it be like you talking to him like you're talking to your homegirl or your homeboy, like that's normal. If you talk to him at the end of your day and just, tell him about your day, how you were feeling, how you interpreted things, and then ask him what you want him to show you. Like, instead of saying things like, God, I want to be a millionaire. Can you make me a millionaire? Actually look for ways of asking. Instead of asking for that, look for ways of asking him to help you with your skills that align with what you want to do. So for me, I enjoy doing YouTube. I mean, I'm a little inconsistent, but I honestly, God, really enjoy doing YouTube. I enjoy sharing my experiences. I enjoy talking to people. Or talking to virtual people. I enjoy talking to virtual people. I enjoy being in front of a camera. I enjoy editing videos, believe it or not. And the thing with that is, I was never good at any of this. One of the things I struggled with the most, and you guys may even notice it if you watch my videos, is my communication isn't the best, or I can't claim that anymore. My communication skills used to be horrible. They have improved dramatically. My vocabulary is slowly improving. And for me, one of the things that I personally ask for is not, oh my gosh, can you make me a YouTube influencer? Oh my gosh, can you make me an Instagram influencer? Anything like that. Like, no. I ask for personal skills that will not only help me on YouTube, but also in my day-to-day career, also in how I be able to serve my community, also in how I deal with my friends and my family and things like that. And for me, it is building my communication. I found that in talking to people, it's very hard for me to formulate my thoughts into words because I'd experience anxiety. I'd get super nervous. I'd get super nervous. I'd stutter. I'd not know the correct terms to use, and it would just make me not want to speak publicly, would not make me want to speak to my friends. If I had an idea and it was very good to me, but I didn't know how to express it, or if I wasn't, if, here we go, you see, it's like that. But if I had an idea and if I had an idea and if I wasn't comfortable expressing it, then I would just be quiet. If someone says something that I disagree with, I wouldn't state my opinion only because that person could argue better than me. They, or not argue, because not everything is an argument. I'm sorry, not everything is an argument, but they could debate better than me because my mind wasn't quick enough to project an argument and expand upon that thought. For me, it's like, well, this is what I feel, but to give supporting evidence, I struggled with that in the moment because I didn't know how to formulate my thoughts into words. So for me, it was me at night saying, God, hey, this is what I need help with. If this is what I'm meant to do, if you see this for me, give me the tools that I need to learn how to effectively communicate, to learn how to relax, to learn how to speak slower with my words so people can understand and comprehend what it is I'm trying to convey. Before, it was just blah, 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 blah. Like I would stutter, I would trip up over my words. And while I still experience anxiety, and sometimes I do stutter and sometimes I do lose my train of thought, for the most part, I can stick to the conversation that I'm trying to have, or not the conversation, but I can stick to the topic that I'm trying to address in that moment. And I find that it took me talking to him and saying, hey, you know, is this where I'm meant to be? Then show me how I can solve this. Show me ways of dealing with this. And he helped. And in addition to that, let me say this, in addition to that, it wasn't just, oh, you know, me asking God to help me with my communication. It was also me actively looking for opportunities to develop my skills. So in moments where I'd be at work and we're having a group discussion, I'll take the initiative to join that conversation. I'll take the initiative to direct that conversation. When it comes to confrontation, or conflict, areas of conflict, before I would just quiet and be like, you know, it's nothing, and just retreat from the entire situation. Whereas now it's like, no, I'm going to talk about it and I'm going to express how I feel. And also in expressing how I feel, I'm going to make sure you understand and give you a chance to say, it doesn't make sense, or I don't agree. Like, I am more willing to hold a actual conversation versus shy away from the conversation and just be like, no, they're gonna win this argument, or they're gonna win this debate, or they're gonna win the opportunity because they can express themselves better. Now granted, I'm not gonna make it seem like I got the fairy tale ending, and when I communicate, or when I try to persuade people of things, or when I try to get my way in a disagreement, that it always comes off that way, that I always come out the winner. No, but I do turn out to be the winner in terms of not folding, in terms of not letting other people have onus over the topic. Like, you're gonna hear my opinion, and whether I sound silly, whether I sound stupid, whether I sound like I lack the understanding of what is being said, whether if I sound childish with my simple vocabulary. Like, I don't care about none of that, because step one is me actually doing the work to have the conversation. Now that I'm in the space where I feel comfortable having the conversation, I can move to the next level and, you know, start using a better vocabulary, learning new words to implement into the conversation. Because at the end of the day, I told you guys in the last video, it's all about taking space. It's all about being an active person. So when it comes to my conversations, I make sure that I do have an end goal of what I want, but also the foundation to, once we have that conversation, when I say we, me and God have that conversation, I could go out and look for opportunities. Because in that moment, I think that God is presenting these opportunities to me for me to practice upon these skills, for me to build the skills that I need. In addition to that, you also have to look at how these skills are going to help you with other people. For me, I'm an advocate for people being their most healthiest self. So I tell you now, like, I'll have conversations with any and everybody about mental health, about being the best person you can be, about showing people grace, about showing people mercy. And I think a big part of me being able to do that now is to get out of my anxiety, because I feared rejection. I feared that people didn't want to hear what I had to say. I feared that people wouldn't care. And I felt like I, again, didn't have the vocal capacity to effectively express what I want to come off as my message to others. And getting to that confidence, I can have a conversation with people who I just met, and we can have a full conversation. And it's so funny, it will lead back to God. Like, story time real quick. So I decided I was going to get a promise ring, and this promise ring is just for me to remember my commitment to myself and my commitment to God, and to always have it on me. So in any time that I face temptation, it is there. But yeah, I went in this store, and me and the saleswoman, we had a whole conversation outside of what I went in there for. And I left an imprint on that person's life, because I was telling her of my experience and things that I learned, and she was going through things. And she, not to say that I'm the reason that she sees things on the other side, no, she was already in a space where she was understanding what she needed to do to heal herself, and she was on her own separate journey of getting to know God and like really falling into her faith again. And it was just so amazing, because we were able to share that experience as like reconfirmation that you are doing the right thing. And that was on both ends. It wasn't just like me taking that away from her taking that away from me. Like, it was a mutual understanding. Now imagine if I didn't have those skills, or I'm not working on those skills to become an effective communicator. I wouldn't have talked to her. I wouldn't have had any conversation with her beyond what I went in that store for. So I think that's very important, that you also tie what you're asking for into how it'll help you help other people, because essentially that is what you are supposed to do as a believer of God. It's not just about helping me, serving myself instead of God. No, it's you serve yourself, or God serves you, and in turn you serve other people. God is your blessing, and you be blessing to other people. So yeah, that's definitely something I took away. So that kind of ties into noticing the signs, noticing what is meant for you, because everything kind of shows you, or everything is a reminder of what it is that you're supposed to be doing, or everything is a reminder that you are on the right path. There are going to be times that you get discouraged. There are going to be times where you start to think that maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this. But just like he did for me in the moment, with that girl in that store, it was like, okay, reconfirmation. Yes, you are on the right path. Yes, you see how far you've come, because you can hold this conversation with this complete stranger. And it's meaningful, and it means something, and it could change your life. It could change their life. So I feel like a lot of the times we kind of avoid those signs and just chalk it up to coincidence, when in reality it's confirmation that you are on the right journey. And look for all those positive things. Look at what you used to do and look at where you're going, and notice the difference. Because a lot of times it's the people who know us best who don't, and when I say best, I mean the longest. Let's say that. It's always the people who knew you the longest who are more resistant to your change. Whereas when you meet new people, when you put yourself in new circumstances, you'll see that, wow, I really am changing. I really am developing into a better person. I really am taking in the things that I'm learning from, going to church, from reading the Bible, from talking to other religious people. Like, I'm really doing it, and I'm doing the work. And you have to go out of your circle, out of your comfort zones, to see the signs that, yeah, I got this, I am doing this. And so you guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you made it to the end, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and give this video a thumbs up. Again, I have more content coming on this series, and I honestly hope it's helpful to you guys, because it's helpful to me in more ways than one. And I just love the idea that I'm getting out what I've been experiencing. I'm learning new techniques, and overall, I just hope that if this video touches one person or 100 people, that it leaves a positive impact and it reconfirms everything that you've been thinking. So yeah, on that note, I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great one. Bye.